when authors don't behave like you want them to. This is a discussion video. I'm not going to be railing against any author's particular personality traits or something horrible they've done outside of the writing realm. This is strictly writers not writing the way you, for some reason, want them to write. And I probably look down upon the George R.R. Martin people who are like, hounding him to finish his books, finish the books. It's like, well, no, he's going his own speed, and he's been doing it pretty consistently. I don't have any issues with that, but I say I can't really stay on my high horse because I do have authors that I have arguments with. Prime example of that is Garth Nix, whose Old Kingdom series, which starts off with Sabriel, it's a fantasy series where it borders our world. There's the actual border guards who kind of guard between the two. It actually is kind of a strange little callback to Xanth there, I would have to say, of Piers Anthony's Xanth, which is my dark and sweaty adolescent past. But yeah, the in these books there are the Abhorsens. They're basically not sorcerers, because sorcerers are evil people in these books, but Abhorsens can walk in death, and they can send creatures back into death. And there's different levels of death that you can send them back into. Very Dante-esque, that way of going through the tears, often very watery. And they use their bells to kind of ring creatures back, and they've got a variety of bells. It's all wonderful world making. I really enjoyed Sabriel. I completely loved, and this is probably my high point of the whole series, LIRAEL, which centers on, instead of Sabriel, who's a bit more of a kind of your conventional hero woman, so, LIRAEL is much more of this shy, introvert, awkward, basically everything. Works in a library, so either I aspire to, or I completely identify with her. And it's just a wonderful book, which a good hunk of it is her in the library, and also her getting to meet and be with the disreputable dog, which is probably one of my favorite characters in the book as well. It's also Mogget's in the first book, but yes, I'm a dog person, so let's just leave it at that. So LIRAEL, and then you get to Abhorsen, which is a much slimmer book. Got it hardback, and is much more kind of like your conventional. Okay, we're going to finish it up. But this is, for me, this is the heart of the whole series, and it kind of wraps things up. Now, Garth Nix did that series, and that was all well and good. He did this is like a collection. There's some short stories, and there's like a little novella in here. And, he did that, but it was like, okay, well, what's a new world he's going to do? And instead of doing kind of more, which these are kind of more like YA level, he ended up going off and doing a couple of kind of younger middle school series. There's the Keys to the Kingdom, things like that, which were much more kiddie, much more less dense. And to be honest, I wasn't interested in them. And I was like, sort of like, well, when's the next thing akin to the old Kingdom series that's going to come out? But that didn't happen. He'd come out with short stories, like in a more adult vein. He did a series of little novella books that I really enjoyed, which of course the names of have completely, which were more kind of sword and sorcery. And so it's like, he's got more kind of like YA or even kind of adult books in him. And I was like, when are those going to come out? And why does he keeps on doing this? Why doesn't he want to make me stuff? And it's like, there's this kind of the dark side of being the audience, is that we're this hungry maw. I remember, when I heard that Douglas Adams died, I was sad as a, one human being to another, that he had died prematurely. That this fellow who had done like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, who was doing Dirk Gently, had died. And I felt, for his family and stuff like that. But there's that other side of me, which is, I guess, that George R.R. Martin fan side of me, the fans hounding this poor guy. It's like, it's the hungry maw, and part of why you're sad is I'm not going to get more books from this guy, which is, it's a very cold thing. And I mean, with Garth Nix ended up coming back to the Old Kingdom series with prequels and sequel-itis things, and it's like, to me, it feels like, maybe this is what he wanted to do, but it's like, for me, it's like, I wanted you to do something. This isn't what I wanted you to do, and I feel like the well has gone dry, so I haven't bought those books. Those are all library books. So it's one of these things of, we talk about, oh, we love this author. It's like, I love the author's works, and you have to kind of keep that in mind and kind of keep that, I guess, in perspective when you're talking about an author. It's like, you don't love the author, you love the author's work, unless you actually know the author and have become friends with them and all that. And my relationship with them is through the book, and if I enjoy the book, that's great. If I don't enjoy the book, I can put it down, I cannot buy it, and that's the way to go. So and there's many other authors that I argue with and have these very impassioned things about, and it's just trying to keep into perspective that, yes, the author is behaving independently of me and is pursuing whatever his own artistic muse, financial goals, whatever his life has thrown at him. I don't know anything about that. All I can know is what kind of comes out the other side, and see if that's for me. And if it's not for me, to try not to get so about it. I think it's, the better the writer, the more there's the danger of that. The more you get frustrated because, oh, he could do this. I've seen some of the short stories, like those could be a worlds. He'd be making wonderful new stuff versus, and so this is me arguing. All I can do is, as a good reader, is to take what he is to read what is given, and if that is something that is to my liking, is pick up more of that he's writing, and if he doesn't put out more, enjoy what he has. Enjoy the original series, and I probably will just stop with that because, well, who am I kidding? Whenever Garth Nix comes out with another addition to this series, I'll probably go in and read it because I've still got so much, obviously, passion and emotion sucked up in these ones. So, what to do when authors don't behave the way you want to do it. The way you want is like, I wish I had an answer other than the reason why we love authors is that they're going to surprise us. They're going to give us stuff that we didn't expect. And I think hopefully most authors that I choose to invest my time in are those kind of people. The ones that aren't going to be like, oh, I'll just give the plebes more of what they want. And I think the way that someone quickly can lose their audience is the ones that get too caught up in that, oh, I'm just going to give them what they want, which all hats off to Mr. Nix, might make him a far better writer than I am a reader. More videos later.